Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight? My name is Raven Baxter, also known in the internet streets as Raven the Science Maven. And I'm so excited to be here tonight for another episode of STEMbassy. This is the place where STEM ambassadors meet. That's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And if this is your first time joining us here, welcome. If you're a weekly watcher, thank you for joining us another time on STEMbassy. We love hearing from our audience. Tell us where you're from in the chat. I'm here from Buffalo, New York, but I know we have many other viewers here watching from different parts of the world, not just America, but everywhere in the world. So let us know where you are, and we'll give you a shout out in the chat. All right. Well, STEMbassy is a weekly talk show centered around STEM. It's hosted by 5 incredibly talented and passionate women in STEM, and you're about to meet all of us very soon. Every week, we bring on a STEM professional who is passionate about their craft, whether they do public outreach or are involved in social causes that are near and dear to their hearts. We enjoy bringing on people and learning about their STEM journeys. We talk about current events, hot topics, and we sometimes even play games on STEMbassy. Either way, it's always a good time here, and we're glad to have you here. I see we have Carla from Bethesda, Maryland. Hi, Carla. Thank you for watching STEMbassy. We have Nurse Pat Mac RNN, or Nurse Pac Matt. Nurse Pat Mac RN from North Carolina. How you doing, Pat? I would love to know what part of North Carolina you're from. If you feel like sharing, I'm also from North Carolina originally. It's great to have you on here watching STEMbassy, and thank you for letting us know that you're here. Well, without further ado, we've got a full show tonight. We have a very exciting guest, so I won't hesitate to move forward and bring on our first guest. It's my pleasure and honor to bring on Jay, Amanda, here to say hello. Welcome to STEMbassy, Jay.
Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Raven. I am Jay. I'm a UX researcher and international psychology student that will be graduating this year. Praise God. I am so passionate about AI, cybersecurity, and women empowerment. I'm also the host for a podcast entitled Get Into It Podcast, where I unpack subjects within culture and technology from a psychological standpoint, and I release episodes every Tuesday. So make sure you watch out for that.
You heard her. Don't miss her podcast, Get Into It Pod. She has a beautiful brand that she's built. I cannot wait to tune in and watch her podcast. Y'all don't want to miss it. And congratulations in advance for graduating this semester. We got this. Okay, we got this.
Thank you.
We gonna make it past the finish line. I'm gonna tell you that.
My God.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome back to STEMbassy, Jay. Next up, I would like to bring up Amanda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda. I am a first-year PhD student at the University of California, San Diego. I'm also a podcaster. My podcast is called Triplicates, and it's me and 2 other first-gen women of color working through our PhD program, trying to give tips and advice, trying to spread out that knowledge and help everyone through their degrees.
We love to see it. Being a resource to those.
We do.
Coming into your position after you, we absolutely love to see it. So remember, yes. Jay has Get Into It Pod. Amanda has Triplicates podcast. Both, if you're not following online, you need to follow them immediately so you don't miss out on new episodes, very valuable conversations. As you will be able to see tonight, both of these people have wonderful perspectives to offer. So if you're not listening to their podcast, I hate to tell you, but you're missing out. So don't miss out anymore. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Chanel. Hey, Chanel.
Hey, girl. Hi, everybody. I'm Chanel, also known as the Public Health Bae. I'm a cell and molecular biologist with a doctorate in public health. I presently work in human health and toxicology. From time to time, you will see me go like this and put on my public health hat. And that means I'm going to give you some insight as to how something that we talked about on tonight's show, or other STEM topics actually, relate to cultural competency, health education, and health literacy. Welcome to STEMbassy.
Hey, Chanel, how you feeling tonight?
I mean, it's Sunday, and we lost an hour for daylight savings time, but we're here.
We are here. Listen, we'll do
Queer.
anything for STEMbassy. Yeah. We'll do anything for STEMbassy. I want y'all to
Anything
know
for
that
STEMbassy.
Chanel, don't you have some interesting news to share with us?
Ooh.
I do.
Because I read something.
Oh, I did read something recently.
Oh, oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, so I actually had an op-ed published by Quartz Magazine. I was very nervous about this piece, and I did it anyway. Miss Ma'am, my cat has taken my green screen down.
Okay.
I had my first op-ed published by Quartz Magazine. I'm very, very excited about it. I was very nervous about it because of the topic of conversation. It's about why Black people are so afraid of getting this vaccine. And I think it's time we start talking about what's really going on. I think we need to start saying that Black people are crazy for not wanting to get this vaccine. If you understand the history, there's historical context as to why someone might not want to get the vaccine if they are a Black person. Ask me how I know. Because I live in both worlds. I live in a science world. I live in the Black world. So it makes sense. We're not crazy. We just need more time. Some of us just need more time. That's it. I think I've done a pretty good job of explaining that.
And there's so many factors, we all stand from different standpoints and viewpoints that impact our decision making and our thought process. And you beautifully highlighted that in your article. And I just want to let people know what Quartz Magazine is in case they don't know. Okay.
Thank you.
So according to Wikipedia, Quartz is a business-focused magazine, an international news organization. They target high-earning readers. They call themselves a digitally native news outlet for business people in the new global economy. So I just want to congratulate Chanel on her publication that is major. We love when your voice is amplified because we love hearing it here, and especially celebrate when other people get the chance to hear it too in other avenues. So congratulations, Chanel, major news. Amazing.
Thank you. And can I just, on the end of that, because you said to highlight or amplify voices, that's exactly why I thought the piece was important for me to do. I think it's really important to amplify the voices of people who feel this way, but are being overshadowed by the judgment that the medical profession is really putting out there. So I think it's really important to highlight that they have a voice and there's a reason for this. They're not crazy. Give them some time.
100%. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
And last for not least, sorry. Daylight savings got me acting crazy. But last but not least, we have Ariana, who's also making major moves right now in their life. So what's up? How you doing?
Hi, I'm Ariana. I'm also known as Ari, the ecologist on the internet. I'm a wildlife biologist, and I just finished my master's in wildlife ecology studying bobcats in New Jersey. I'm currently an adjunct instructor and a wildlife technician, sometimes requires really long hours, but I will be starting a PhD position this May at the University of Idaho studying wolf ecology. Also part of our STEMbassy team is our amazing producer, December. So if you hear us talking to her, just know that she's working hard to keep our stream running smooth. And while, you're tuned in and you're listening and we have your attention, make sure you're following STEMbassy on Twitter and Instagram at STEMbassy, on Facebook as The STEMbassy. You can find links to all these platforms at our website, stembassy.org. Don't forget to join us on Patreon at patreon.com/STEMbassy. So check us out on all those platforms. Keep up to date with what STEMbassy and this amazing crew is up to.
Thank you so much, Ariana, for that introduction. How are you doing? I know you're transitioning into a new role soon. How's everything going? You must be tired, exhausted from all of this new adjustments that you're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Had a 15-hour workday today out in the field as a wildlife technician. So yeah, long Sunday. Got to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning to keep trying to do the wildlife work. You got to wake up when the critters are awake, and then also preparing to move across the country. So that's big change. Lots to plan. So been busy.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing your time with us. We enjoy spending time with you every Sunday and every other time we get to spend with you. So thanks for sparing this hour with us tonight. Okay. And then now that we've met all of our hosts, I am so excited to talk about our guest tonight. This is somebody who I saw on Twitter, who really just seemed like somebody who was making major impacts in their field. And of course, us being STEMbassy, we certainly would like to bring on the trailblazers, the forward thinkers, and the future of STEM. So today, we're joined by a very special STEM ambassador at STEMbassy. And this person is called Jorvon Moss. Jorvon was born in Compton, California, and originally went to art school, all the while developing a love for science. He graduated with an illustration degree, but decided not to work in the industry, instead to pursue being a tinkerer and work with technology. We love to see it. Please join us in giving Jorvon Moss a very warm welcome to STEMbassy. Welcome to STEMbassy, Jorvon. We're so glad to see you here.
Sorry.
I love it. I love it.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes,
What were you doing?
Just so you know, you can follow Jorvon Moss at oddj, odd 2Ds _ J 2 Ys. And we are so excited to have you here. I just find you so fascinating. And I would like to congratulate you in advance on making the cover of Make magazine. Major global impacts, bro. Like, congratulations. How does that feel?
It's pretty great, honestly. It was a goal I had years ago when I first started like really tinkering and playing around with that. And then suddenly I started becoming better at what I do, and I got known more and more. But I always wanted to be on the cover, but it was like a goal for the future. I thought I was going to be, get to that goal like in my later 30s, 40s maybe, when I make something I thought was worthy enough for it. And then suddenly, next thing I know, they reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna put you on the cover." And I was like, "What?"
Woo.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's been a dream come true, really. I'm not even over it yet. I'm still riding that high of I made it. That was a goal. I achieved it. I get to go celebrate and show it off.
Yes.
Your life been after that? Has anything changed, or anybody's treating you a little bit different? Like, oh, I know him. You're like, nah, I don't really know you.
I will say there has been a huge increase in notifications on my phone and a lot of messages and stuff that I haven't got back to a lot of them because just the overwhelming number that comes in now is very much. But other than that, it's been kind of the same, honestly.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt, Raven. I saw you were about to say something. We may have the same question. I want to know, one, what is your bot's name that's right beside you? And two, I feel like he's just listening to you and he's just like, yeah, okay, all right, let's talk about me. Because he's like,
It's so beautiful.
He's so cute.
but he's like, yeah, we're talking enough about him.
Oh, does he
Oh my
mimic
gosh,
you?
that programming.
Oh,
Amazing.
wait. Is he a mini J?
Hold on, I think we all wait because we all need to capture our individual reaction to this. Because I want to say this is our first robot guest. First of all, can we get a hand clap?
We just keep leveling up.
And this is our first robot guest. So, Amanda, how does this make you feel to be sitting next to our first robot guest right now?
I feel like it's really embodying the T in STEM. Okay.
Hey.
I love it.
Okay, Jay, Amanda, how's this making you feel?
I mean, you
Yeah,
already
what's his
know.
name?
I'm
I
super excited because I'm paying attention to Jay, which is also my name twin. But I'm also paying attention to the bot because I'm like, I feel like we have a connection. I don't know.
I feel like he's a good listener.
He's listening to me. He's
Ariana,
But have you
how
seen
is
it when Jay moves? He moves. When
Yeah.
he turns his head, he turns his head. It's like he's mimicking him. Isn't it cute?
okay, Ariana, you being the wildlife ecologist, Let us know how this is making you feel. I'm really curious.
Honestly, every time it turns its head, it reminds me of the RCA Victor dog that, like, on the commercial turns its head like this, and is like curious and like wondering what's going on. I know I've also seen my pets do that too, so that's what first went into my head.
Okay, and Chanel, what's going through your mind right now?
I want one. Right. I want one.
Commission?
I want one. I want one of those. And I want the glasses to match. I need the goggles, so I gotta have the specs, right? But I want a mini bot. So when I do public health hat, it can kind of go like this with me.
Oh, that'd
like
be so cute.
Public health hat will be so bomb if I had one of those.
I want to say that the last time I've seen a robot dog was the Poochie quite some time ago. Do you all remember in the early 2000s? The Poochie?
Yeah.
I'll just share my screen really quick to pull up the last robot dog I've seen. It's this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm too young for that one.
I literally begged my mother. She was like, "Hell no, girl, we don't got money like that. What's wrong with you?" I absolutely begged my mother for that. So I'm super intrigued. Jorvon, tell us, Jay, take it away. What's going on with the dog? What was your question?
How'd you make it?
Oh man, that's a lot of questions to answer fast. Okay, I guess first was I made it because of actual stuff like this. Because when I started to have to do more Zoom calls, thanks to the lockdown, my background was just white back then. And it was just nothing to really see. And I really don't want to have to like move my entire camera system around just so people can see the mess that's on my desk. So I decided to design a robot to actually come with me on all my video chats. So like if anyone video chats me, at least for the first time, or if I have to go on any interviews, I was like, I need a robot. So I built a robot to help me with that problem. And that's Bandy over here.
Bambi?
Short for bandwidth. So I just call him Bandy.
Oh my God. That's the cutest thing.
He's so cute.
Yeah,
so does he run on Wi-Fi or is he plugged into the wall? Like what's going on with this
Currently, he's plugged up using an Arduino right now. I had him originally plugged up with my servo tester.
We talked about Arduino last week.
We were.
Originally, I had him plugged up to my servo tester. That way I can test the servos because I haven't been on calls that often. And last time he was having an issue. But the servos are working good now. So like now I have him on a basic program of randomly moving depending on tick servo. Sorry, brain's still fried. But he's pretty much moving randomly based on code. So like I don't know what he's going to do next. And I think that makes it fun.
Oh wow.
I have a question. What is a servo?
Yes, that is a good one.
Servos are going to go in full teacher mode.
Yes,
servos are small microcontrollers. Servos are small microcontrollers that you can control using motor controllers, not microcontrollers. Small motor controllers that you can control and program using a microcontroller, which is something like one of these. You can plug them up and program them to move certain ways and do certain things. So it's kind of my go-to for most of my robotic needs. So like this one uses 1, 2, 3, 4 servos to move around.
Wow. Raven looks like you.
Raven, I love it. I have a question. And it's the only reason I have this question is because we've now had enough people on here that I think we all know what Arduino is. But have you ever used Raspberry Pi in your robotics, or is that just like an unrelated thing?
Ironically, funny thing about it, I have been playing with the Raspberry Pi recently because I'm practicing AI and machine learning, and I'm hoping to have that hooked up to him. That way I can have like him on permanently and just have like a learning thing he can just do and just figure out how that works. But it's a very slow thing. I'm very self-taught and self-motivated when it comes to like my love of science and things. So I don't like take classes. I just kind of take a day and study and just tinker and see what works and see what doesn't work.
That's cool.
So that's been like my big thing. But Raspberry Pis, I love them. Don't get me wrong, but you have to remember they are a computer. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is that they need enough juice to keep going. Raspberry Pis are power drainers. And one thing I major on is wearable robotics, where you can take a robot with you on adventures and stuff like that. And a Raspberry Pi would last probably about like 2 hours on a portable battery before finally dying, compared to my other robots.
I see.
So
what's
we
the
need to be
result for
plugged
that?
in, maybe.
Oh, sorry. What?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go, Chanel.
No, I was just gonna say, what's the resolve for that for people that are using Raspberry Pi or some other type of system? What is their resolve to get more battery life when they're out? Like, let's say they're out and doing something. How do they extend battery life?
I know one of my friends, Alex Glow, when we were doing our wearable robotics thing at SuperCon back in 2019 now, 2018, 2019. What she did was that she carried around multiple batteries. So she had like the same type of batteries that you would use to charge your cell phone. She had like 2 of those, and she would just like switch them out and like have one charge, and then while that one's charging, she'll have the other one going and switching back and forth for that. Or you could, which is technically a little bit more dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, make your own battery. But I do warn on that. I've had some accidents with lithium-ion batteries, so
Is it flammable accidents?
Oh yeah. Which I remember we were talking about this earlier. I made a TikTok because I was working on another robot just for kicks and giggles. Like sometimes I just build things to be building them, and I messed up the wiring. Like one of the copper wires had a small cut in it, and I didn't notice it. And I had it holding on one of my metal areas. And when I powered it up, it started smoking. And I was recording it. So like I have a video on the internet of just like my robot like looking normal and everything looks like it's working. And then it just starts steaming out smoke. And I had to stop the video. And, fix that problem.
Wow.
That was the last time that's happened. But I've had multiple times where things have caught fire. I have
So is this
That's how you learn.
is that standard? Is it standard to have a fire extinguisher at your workbench?
Oh yeah, no, that was the first gift my parents really got me when I started doing this early. They were like, here you go, a fire extinguisher. And I was like, cool.
I appreciate the fact that your parents didn't say stop. They were just like, let's just be safe. Here's a fire extinguisher because clearly you like to burn things. Here you go.
I'm not intentionally Ohm's law wasn't something I learnned by studying. It was something I experienced. So
okay.
I'm getting flashbacks. Don't talk about Ohm's law or circuits. I'm getting flashbacks.
So I'm wondering, where did all of this start? Because I know you started out in art, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the drive to get you started in tinkering and creating?
Originally, because I went to art school because I'm a big comic book nerd. Grew up on superheroes, Iron Man, Batman, all of them. And when I was getting my degree, I realized there's a type of hierarchy in comic books, like the storyboarders first, and then the penciler, then the inker, and the color artist. And I had a class, it was one of my inking classes, where my teacher was working on Superman and Sons. And he inked this very beautiful panel. It was Superman's son sitting under a tree, and he inked each leaf on the tree in perfect detail. That took him probably hours with a fine tip pen. And then he sent it in, and the penciler didn't like it. So he had to just redo that entire panel. He had to ink it all over and just did a basic color blotch with sunlight hitting it. And after that happened, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Right, because it takes away your creativity.
Yeah, I understand. And then if you look further into it, if you work for Disney and you're doing one of their things, Disney wants you to be able to draw in their style. Mm-hmm. They don't want you to have your own style. Your artwork has to look exactly like the next person.
Oh, okay.
And then plus I was working 24/7 plus school 24/7, so I didn't network like other kids have the ability to. Mm-hmm. Which, when you get out of the industry, you realize networking is so important. And if you didn't network, that's pretty much the struggle to begin with. Mm-hmm. So around my junior year, I was just kind of I really don't want to do this. But at this point, I'm kind of already in it, and I'm not about to just give up because I spent so much money. So I was I'm just going to finish it.
I wonder why that is. It's always that junior year when you decide, you know what? I don't think this is for me.
It's the 7-year itch, but for college.
Exactly. That's what it did. Well, it was more 10 for me. So.
My current theory is because by the time you hit your junior year, you're doing only classes based on your profession.
That is very
Or
true.
then you're kind of like swimming around and doing all these major classes. But when you get to your junior year, it's like your entire schedule is like your main core classes, like things you want to be doing.
Right.
And that's when you kind of realize, like, do I really want to do this?
Exactly. Okay, so you made the switch, but what was behind it? Like, did you see anybody else that was creating or tinkering? Would have, like maybe your parents or?
Ironically, I think the moment it really hit me was, it's two things. One, I was already like looking and reading science books for like a hobby because drawing used to be my hobby, but since it was like everyday thing for me, I stopped drawing every day because I had homework to do it for. Like it wasn't a fun thing. But I remember what ended up happening is I had a free period, like I think work or lunch got canceled or either one. So I went into the lunch area, which, most schools have a cafeteria. And it was like around noon. And of course, a whole bunch of people were in there getting lunch. And I sat at a table and then I kind of realized that I was the only person at my table. Like I was the only one that didn't have any friends around right now. And it was just because I was so busy that I just never had time to make friends. So I decided to make time to make friends.
Wow. I like
and
that.
it kind of started it. Like after that point, I was just like, this kind of sucks. I want to be able to make something. And I was just like, hey, the opening door to that, science. Let's see how these robots work.
Wow.
And then after that, it was just like a whole bunch of Amazon parts and then trial and error. Like, fun story. I tell everyone this. My first project, I had bought some mini micro servos, and I didn't know about microcontrollers or the Raspberry Pi yet. So I just got a servo and a battery pack because I assumed that's what you needed. So I bought I think it was a 5 AA battery pack. And I breadboarded it to connect directly to the servo. And as soon as that happened, the servo exploded in my dorm room.
Oh no!
Are you kidding me?
So what does that mean? Was the battery pack too much? Like, what does that mean?
It fried the motor. Like, it gave it too much current. Because the micros are like, I think if I would try it today with the same process, this is a normal major servo, like the one that you would see in like this robot here. It's very powerful. It's pretty much bigger than normal ones.
Mm-hmm.
I was attaching it to this little thing.
Oh, geez.
That is a difference.
Yeah.
Can you hold them side by side so we can see that?
Oh,
okay.
Wow. No,
Andy is looking at them like you knew better.
No. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was like my first step into it. I thought it was a learning experience. My roommate got really mad and the alarm went off, and then that was just a fun time.
Wait, you set off the alarm in the room?
Yeah.
Was smoking?
It was smoking. It was too much.
Oh my God.
Like,
See, when you think about computers, I don't think people immediately jump to like, this is flammable or like, I'm going to cause a fire.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ironically, I didn't think I was going to cause a fire either, but
It's one of the things that just kind of happen. You know? You don't exactly plan.
Like, see, what happened was...
I mean, come on, we've all done it. We've all had a faux pas in the lab. We've all had a faux pas in the lab.
Yeah.
I have. I'll take it later. Not now, though. I'll do it later.
So back in college, like we used to set the fire alarm off because we cooked the popcorn so long, and the fire department would come. We all be standing outside the dorm and be like, "Oh, you cooked the popcorn for 5 minutes, huh? Didn't you, Raven?" Huh? So, like, what was it like you standing outside? Like, were you at college? Like, you were in your dorm, and
I was in the dorm. Yeah.
You set the fire alarm off, and then did you set the fire alarm off?
Yeah, the fire alarm went off, but it was like, hey, it's fine. You don't have to call anybody. It's just a small thing. And they're like, are you smoking in the room? And like, do you breathe? This don't smell like smoke, like people would think.
No, I'm not smoking. I'm making robots, please.
Right, I'm trying to live my life. Please let me know.
My roommate wasn't happy about it because like it woke him up and he was like, what are you doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. You should be doing that in the room. And I'm just like, well, that's not supposed to do this. So.
Do you still talk to your old roommate? Like, I'm pretty sure now I would be like, yeah, he was my roommate.
I didn't because like my roommates were just that. They weren't really friends. They're just like, hey, I'm stuck with you for this semester.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
That's a conversation I would like to hear, though. Like when you explain, like, so what were you doing when the detector went off? Like, how do you say I was making a robot? Like,
Oh, I just thought I was trying to make this electronic device work, but instead I gave it too much power. I think it exploded.
Yeah.
I took it apart and I was able to see like the circuit board actually did like have burn marks all over it. So like I know for a fact I burned it.
Love that.
did they believe you when you told them though? Like, did they
I
believe you?
had evidence. Like,
I had it in my hand.
like it didn't just like burst into like full on fire and smoke and ash. Like I still had it. It was just a little cooked.
I
Just
love
overcooked.
it.
That's okay.
Okay. I have a question about your headgear. Can we walk through like what is this? Did you make it? What does it do?
These, I call them my Magpie Eyes. These are just like, you know, in like sci-fi movies, they always have a really cool character with cool goggles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
I always wanted that. I always wanted my own pair of like cool sci-fi goggles. So like, I made these.
Shut up! Wait a second.
I made these by like accident. I was talking with a friend and we were chatting about stuff. And I was just like, hey, stuff is going on. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I'm just going to make something really quickly. So I made the prototypes of these and I posted a video and they got really popular. Like they got extremely popular. I wasn't even assuming that they would become my grade, but they did. So I was like, cool, I'll make more of them and make, you know, a tutorial and stuff and see what I can do with this. And that's how they kind of gone and then reached out to me like, oh, we love your goggles. We want to use them on a magazine. And I was like, cool, sure. Yeah, let's do this. But
Jorvon.
they're
What?
currently being powered by a small Arduino and like some daisy chaining. So yeah, they're pretty great.
You do realize that you're pure genius, right? You do.
I love them.
Because nobody like taught you this. You're self-learned.
Yep.
You're pure
You said
genius.
he tinkered.
Yes,
Right.
that's honestly why I go by the term tinker and not like maker most of the time, because like I feel like makers kind of have at least some understanding of what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
I don't have any understanding what I'm doing, but the fact that I don't understand gives me the ability to try things that most people would just throw out the window.
Right.
Yes. And that I think is so powerful. Some people are just like, oh no, that'll never work. But still being like able to be like, oh, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Is like, that's how you open new avenues to things.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
Took the
worst case scenario, you get a fire. It's fine.
It's fine. We've had a fire
It's
before.
fine.
Fire extinguishers. That's why they were created.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Exactly. You learn from your mistakes. This is what you don't do, but hey, this worked.
I literally like in my sketchbook, 'cause I used to have a sketchbook that I used to draw blueprints on and I have ideas and stuff, but I have trial and error like scripts in there. So like I do have take notes of like, hey, I tried this did not work. Maybe I'll try this tomorrow.
Mhm.
So like I'm really hoping eventually in the future if I become like really like a master tinker, like gray dreads and stuff, and I'm like on my deathbed and I can be like, my master journal is
What is that movie? Because you just when you said Great Dreads, I'm thinking of the movie that just came out. It's on Netflix. Shoot, and we watched it.
Jingle Jangle.
For Christmas.
Thank you.
For
Thank
Christmas,
you.
Jingle Jangle. Yeah.
Yes.
I posted a video on TikTok, like a basic hello video, like, hey, this is me and this is what I do. And everyone just started commenting and like, okay, Geronicus. And I'm like, oh.
Yes. You are Joanna Johnson. Yes.
I freaking love it.
Only you take the direction.
I'm okay with it. Like, hey, I was just like, we got a Christmas movie with black people. It's not sad. It's literally
It's
about
not sad.
like, I'm here for it. Like, go ahead.
It's you, basically. Like, it's you.
I love it. I freaking love it.
Wait, okay, so since we're talking about black movies, not necessarily the movies, but can you talk a little bit about Afrofuturism and why you use them in your design and why that's so important? Because I saw the difference between Bandy Now and then what's the new robot's name?
I'm actually designing. I can kind of show you guys since you guys are all really nice. I'm currently working on a new spider robot.
Wait, it's an exclusive?
Well, it's technically a remake of one of my older robots called Asi, which is based off of the African spider god trickster Anansi. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm so bad with English sometimes. But yeah, I'm using a lot of Afrofuturism design with this one. That's why I'm choosing like more bright colors and stuff like that. I haven't had the time yet to go in with a paintbrush and add textile designs, but this is something I'm really trying to like get more out there, because most of the times when we see stories and movies, they're usually focused on like steampunk or like really depressing type of stuff, cyberpunk sometimes. But Afrofuturism and that type of stuff hasn't really been touched upon other than like Black Panther, which is cool, but like Disney owns that, and you know.
We got you. We got you. We're here. We're here. We're here.
So what will your new robot do?
This one I'm still working on a lot of the design because, like I said, making it definitely more artistic and functional. But I focus on wearable robots, and what that means is I design robots you can put on your person and then walk around somewhere with it. This one, Anansi, I'm focusing on two main things. One, where did I put it? This weird tube I have. I'm going to add this to the back of it as the abdomen, and I'm going to add color changing LEDs in here. And I'm actually making a chameleon circuit, which is an Adafruit LED design, which allows things to be scanned and then the LEDs will turn to that color. So it'll be a fun interactive thing that I can do because like I have nephews and stuff like that. And one thing I do kind of enjoy is like when they get to mess with stuff, it survives their interactions. And I'm also messing with chemistry for the first time to make my own silly string type of fluid. That way I can also mess with them.
Oh,
wow.
Question.
Go Chanel.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ariana. Go
Wait a
ahead.
second. I'm sorry. Can we just absorb for a second?
I'm trying.
I am overwhelmed, okay? With everything.
This
Amazing.
is like normal for me.
Okay, go
Well,
ahead.
I was gonna say, because what you held up reminded me of a reservoir for a cooling circuit in a computer. If you've ever seen the like water cooling system.
Yeah.
So if you ever have any components that get too hot, you could make like a really cool like wearable like water pump with like cool fluid like they do in the computers, but like make it wearable to like cool your robot at the same time. Anyways, I just thought that was a cool idea, and I don't know how to do it, but I bet you could figure it out. So
About that, I have a design for like that, but the issue with that is it would definitely be more of a computer than a robot at that point, and it would be way more like a huge Iron Man suit.
But
Okay, but I like
that.
That's a good idea, though. It'd be cool.
It'd be
a fun
cool,
Halloween.
but, like, the time, money, and then the
Yeah.
accidents, I have to prepare for that because water coolant means I'm actually operating something that's going to be very powerful, like your own desktop computer. So it needs to be water coolant. So your desktop computer does a lot. It has so much power. But if I turn it into a wearable, I can pretty much make the motherboard system into a backpack and then have a whole system of robotics around me. But the issue with that is also powering it. And then I don't want to attach a custom-made lithium-ion battery to put out enough power, or even a car battery, because that's still pretty dang dangerous if that thing
That
decides to
seems
work.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
Actually.
that.
I mean, it would be a very cool villain story, like, you know, or
Yeah.
like
The villain origin story.
That's a whole movie in itself.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so I have a question.
Chanel.
Go Chanel.
Chanel had a question. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to ask about you tinkering with chemistry, making your own silly strings. Was that going to be a Nancy's web spitting? Is that why you were thinking about that? Okay.
I have some of the material
That's
already.
so awesome.
I love the internet because a lot of people focus a lot of the Iron Man suits because of MIT, and like I feel like half of the MIT students just make Iron Man suits now. But you forget there are also Marvel nerds who like Spiderman. So I did a quick Google search and see so many people making their own web shooters. And one of the stuff was actually people making like silly strings as working as web shooters. And I could easily get like a silly string container and like work from there. But the issue with that is size. So I figured the best way to fix that problem is by making my own formula and making my own shooter. That way I can control the size of what I'm working with. So I'm playing with that.
Will you put that up like as a tutorial? Because I know like my middle son, Mason, he loves Spiderman. Okay. And he's been asking me, I'm like, oh, I don't do that type of knowledge. So I don't know, but you do. So
Mason meets polymer science.
Right. I think we know what he's going to do in life.
I'm still getting used to the whole social media world in general because I was mostly using Instagram as like a portfolio for fun and then Twitter for like making friends and stuff. And recently I've gotten, thanks to my publication, I've become a lot more known and a lot more people want to see my stuff and see me on YouTube and stuff. So I bought like, this is all this lighting and stuff. This is all new. Like there's a ring light over here. This is all new before I can start recording stuff. but I'm still working on that because like it's a lot of time. I have to learn editing now. I have to make time for that to like record. I have to do scripting now, which is like weird because I'm not much of an actor. It's a lot of stuff people don't really think about until you really have to do it. You're just like, wait, you have to do all of this? Why are you in YouTube? This takes way too much time.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah. And people be saying, oh, the little influencers. It's like the influencers do a lot of work, okay?
Yeah.
Like
that is a job.
That is a legit job. Right? You have to post constantly. I was off of Twitter for just 24 hours, and I'm just like, what's happening now?
Right. That's where the world lives, online.
100%. Okay, so we talked about Afrofuturism. Oh, we're good?
I think so. What just happened, buddy?
oh.
Yeah.
What if he got up and he said, I'm cool, I'm just a little sleepy?
You got really excited.
Yeah, what if he's in sleep mode? What if he just said,
Well, I don't know about
Why did you make the noise?
Right? Wait, Chanel, do it again.
I don't know how to do it. He was asking. It was on the sky. Get up, sleeping. I don't know. He was asleep. Yeah,
You
he
need
was
to
sleeping.
record it and integrate a little like sound box so that when it goes to sleep.
Yeah, he was just Bandy was just like, hey, it's time for sleep. That's all.
Yeah.
I think we were boring him.
That
because
daylight savings.
Jorvon was getting all the spotlight. Yeah, Jorvon was getting all the spotlight. It's daylight savings time.
Well, we get to see tinkering
just
live.
missing a screw. He's
Live
fine.
in action. We get to see tinkering. So wait, like walk us through this troubleshooting, because I think a lot of people think that STEM is just we get things perfect all the time, but it's really, as you said,
Yeah,
trial
this is
and error.
awesome.
So, like, what's your
Oh,
process?
yeah, okay. So currently, I noticed that his neck screw is kind of off a bit. It's not the servo; it's the attachment. So I looked at it and I see I have two screws that are attaching the head to this, and one of the screws on the top is missing now. So I think that just fell out, which is bad on me because I probably should have just. So I'm currently just going to easily. Oh, well, that happened.
But that's good news, right, Jorvon? That it's just a screw. That's good news, right?
Yeah, that's just a screw. It's easily fixable. Honestly, I kind of like when my stuff breaks because I know what to improve, which is something like you have to learn through trial and error. But like stuff like this is just like, oh, that screw's missing. Let me just easily fix that as I carry a whole
This is so great.
This is
Watching
so
you do this is
cool.
awesome.
Our
Yeah.
audience
It
is
is.
also amazed.
Look, I'm like this on my screen, like I'm like,
Yeah, we're all up in your
Yeah.
business, bro. Like,
yeah, this is awesome.
Let me see a little bit more.
this is
Yeah,
so
look at this.
cool.
Come on,
Are you
buddy.
gonna
I'm
put it
gonna
back?
put you back on there so we can
Yeah,
like
put 'em
get a real
back.
good
Yeah.
close up.
It's literally no pressure. It's just us and YouTube watching you. It's fine.
Yeah. But
That's so cool.
Oh, and then
There we go.
I moved when he fell. Huh. It's okay, buddy. We got you. Let me just attach that
Oh,
there.
oh,
Oh, that's one thing I like about robots and stuff like that, because when it comes to pets and animals and just people in general, when you guys get hurt, you take forever to heal.
yeah.
Like that's both emotional and physical. They all take a long time. For robots, ta-da.
Wait, why you say that? You're not here.
Oh, yay! Welcome back. Oh my god.
Yeah.
When
And then
you-
You did that.
Where's this screw from? I don't know where this screw came off of.
Uh-oh.
That
I'm
is
gonna
so
have-
awesome though.
But
We'll
yeah,
find out later. Something will
Yeah.
happen. And we'll be like, oh, that's where that went.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
God,
This is so cool. The actual definition of tinkering, like it was so cool to see it live in action, just the troubleshooting
Mhm.
process, and
oh yeah.
boom.
I have a personal rule that your first prototype will always fail. But the
Mhm.
problem with most people is that when you try it the first time and it fails, you get discouraged.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys saw that movie, Meet the Robinsons, this Disney movie, super old. It's one of my favorite ones, but I love it because of the fact that the story of keep moving forward is a really big thing. And in the movie, they celebrate failure. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, you failed, you messed up, congratulations. That's a big deal. And I see it the same way. Like, I found out that these screws were loose because I didn't check the screws before going on live.
Mhm.
Learn something new. I can totally make that better later. And you won't have that problem. And it took me like what, not even 5 minutes to fix it? Like,
Less than that.
Not long.
And you smiled throughout the whole thing, like
oh, I love this.
I'm so glad that you came on and said that, Jay, because this has like been our theme. Seems like all of season 3 to keep moving, especially since we look at people online like we've talked about all the time. We assume that these people are perfect, and even people in STEM is just like, oh, you made it, you had no issues, no problems, but that's not true. There's a lot of behind the scene, or breaking something, or setting things on fire, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But
things happen. You just gotta keep going forward with it. And then it's also too, like, what did you learn from it? Like, I always ask myself that. Like, I learned just now, didn't screw up the next screws. Need to check that next time and make sure all that's good together. Or I need to get better screws. Or I could design a whole new area here that holds it better instead of the way it's holding now. I could do that, actually.
Yeah, right. See, you solved the problem.
Anyway, that's taking too much time. I don't got a lot of time, bro. I gotta work on this robot over here.
Speaking of time, and speaking of moving forward, I think we would all love to know what you would love to be known for in the future. Like, what do you want your legacy to be?
Wow.
Well, funny thing you mentioned that, because that's always something that's constantly on my mind. One of my personal life goal is to make something immortal. And when I say that, because my parents always say, have a kid, and I'm like, no, that doesn't count. When it comes to something like that, I personally want to make something that just outlives me, that does more. So if I had a legacy, I would say, like, someone talking to me later down the line, like, hey, he came up with this new robot design, or hey, his design robots inspired all of these things later down the line. So that's why I hope, but I have learned recently, because I have been thinking about this constantly, the one thing humans have made thus far that has been immortal is stories. And I think that's why I like using Aussie as the example of one of my favorite robots, because he is the god of storytelling.
Wow.
So,
Got deep on here. Welcome.
Yeah, I love that.
it's
That is
true.
so
I mean,
true. Yeah.
anything else has faded or hasn't been around that long. Even the story of famous scientists, like, we know the story of E equals MC squared. We don't know anything else really about Einstein unless you look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Wow.
we know the story of all these other famous people, but we don't know anything else about it. But we know their story. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I like that, because that's super important, and it puts everything, at least for me, I could say, in perspective, really, because you're not just doing what you love because you love it. This is going to be your legacy, and not only is there the element of representation, but just a new way of thinking. Like, we assume, like, the old school way of traditionally going to college, which some jobs, yes, you definitely need college, but if you have an interest, maybe you don't have the money, or maybe you don't have the resources, but that doesn't stop you, right? You read, you look at other people's stories, you go online, and it's like, oh, this is how he did this, and you sharing just a bit of your story. Anyone else, and I've seen in the chat so many people like, I love tinkering, I love tinkering. Okay, well, you can do this too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I know eventually I'll probably end up being, I hope one day it'd be nice to be a teacher, just to see what I could actually inspire.
I think that would be such a great position for you, like, just your energy. And I think someone was in the comments saying, like, oh, I just need to be around your energy for a week. I think it would be such a lovely energy to bring into a learning environment.
Like, I feel like that would be really fun for me, because I could be like, I'm a mentor now. Do I get like a Gandalf beer?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how can I do this?
No, 100%. Like, I used to be a teacher, a chemistry teacher. Long story, we won't get into it. But I taught chemistry for a year at high school. There was the computer, like the IT person at our school also was a tinkerer. And so he had a 3D printer in his office and a whole bunch of other just knickknacks around. And he would bring in troublemakers, big quotes, right? Because we, a lot of nuances there, but bring in people making trouble to his office, and they would just tinker all day instead of going to detention. And when I tell you, they were building little machines, right? They had Raspberry Pis hooked up to things that they had 3D printed. It was just really cool science and tech going on in there. And it was just stuff that he was doing out the kindness of his heart. It wasn't a part of his job. He was there to fix our computers. He wasn't there to bring in the troublemakers to teach them tech and teach them how to be tinkerers. But I can see how much of a difference he made in people's lives. So much so that some of those kids went the extra mile to seek out like tech opportunities after they graduated, even though we didn't offer those formal opportunities at our school. They were like, well, I had this experience with Mr. So-and-so in detention, and now I want to be a tech person. I want to be a tinkerer. I want to learn more. And I can tell you, like, Jay, you would make such an impact in people's lives. I can imagine you probably having a more formalized role than the person I'm describing, but that presence in a younger person's life can make so much of a difference. Just that understanding that freedom to explore, the freedom of the mind, like, and using the resources around you to really make something incredible. Man, I would love to see you work with the youth. I would love it.
I do warn though, I am very much trickster archetype sometimes. And if they get in trouble for something, I'm like, oh, you did that and you got in trouble for it? That'd be a better firework if you put a microcontroller on it and time it.
Okay.
I'm just saying. If you want to learn how to do it, I got some free time after all.
If you're going to do it well, you know?
Hey,
that could be a movie.
My favorite Harry Potter characters because they knew how to mess with people.
That's true. Hey, do you want practice in mentoring? I got 3 people that interested. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm just saying, I swear I'm up to no good, which means
it's fine. You know their mom. It's good. She's done a lot of things too. It's fine.
I just imagine you standing outside the house on fire. She just drives up. Like, what happened?
Outside.
It wasn't no good.
It's okay. We have plenty of fire extinguishers. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. I love it.
Fire extinguishers.
Giving everyone a little fire extinguisher. Start putting them in.
That'd be good.
Christmas stockings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so
Put it on the necklace. Just
They're prepared.
I mean, technically, that would be a good segue into teaching them about fire safety, depending on electrical fires and normal fires, because that could be a thing you have to worry about in the future.
It's a win-win, learning all the way around.
There's always something to learn. You gotta know where to look.
That's man, you are dropping gems like left and right.
Seriously.
I got to pull all these quotes and just like
Okay.
put them somewhere.
Last but not least, like before we transition into Dr. Chanel's public health hat, I just want to highlight again, Jay, that you made the cover of Make magazine. And like, I don't think people understand that this is a big deal. This is amazing. Not only did you make the cover of the magazine, which is an accomplishment in itself, but if I'm reading correctly, if I understand correctly, you're also the first African-American male to grace the cover of the magazine as well.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
Yep, 100%.
Oh my gosh.
You can actually look
Hand
at all
clap for Jay. Come on now. Hand clap for Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy about that because definitely representation matters a lot. And the fact that I'm able to be that person to step out and show people that, hey, look, we don't have to all do this. We can do this instead is such a big deal. And I'm just honored, honestly. Like, when I actually took a moment to step back and looked at all the other make covers, and I was like, wait, I'm the first? Like, what?
Yeah. It's very inspiring, and especially for you to be somebody who also embraces Afrofuturism and that you are fitting into your own mold of who you want to be and not into the common narrative of what it means to be in tech means a lot to me personally. That's something that I try to preach to whoever I'm talking to, is just be your unapologetic self first. And then let people clap. You know, when you're ready to get your accolades, people gonna clap for who you are and not for who you thought you had to be to get into the spot that you earned rightfully so through your talents. You feel me? So it's very inspiring, especially because a few of the people that I follow and admire in the tech space have also graced the cover. I think of Naomi Wu.
Yeah, Naomi.
You like Naomi too? That's my girl, man. I love her.
I mean, literally, as soon as I hit the cover, she messaged me and she was like, all right, make a Patreon, make a Ko-Fi. We're going to do this. And
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's my
Solidarity.
girl. She had Creality sending me printers, and I was like, oh, God, thank you.
Nice. I'm so glad to hear that because I can tell by what she writes online and what she just says. I just know that I know that's my girl. Like, she just seems like somebody who's with it and understands, is not afraid to speak out for what's right, and is also in the tech space, creating new things and following her imagination. And just, being her unapologetic self. I just love to see it. You both are inspirations. Congratulations.
Well, it's like, I don't know, it's like a small tangent really quickly, but because I grew up in Compton, of course, and Compton is actually one of the most well-known cities in California because of the soundtrack and all of the not good stuff. Yes, it has a soundtrack. I always make that joke. Anyway,
yeah.
I've noticed a big shift because a good example is the movie Black Panther, which, of course, sorry, Disney, but whatever. Before Black Panther came out, I used to wear my robots out sometimes. I'd take the bus and public transportation a lot back then. And I would get a lot of hates pretty much. People would see it and be like, what is that? Oh, is it recording me? They'll freak out. They'll panic, or they just wouldn't understand or wonder why I'm into this and have a whole issue with that. But then Black Panther came out and it went from what the hell is that to Wakanda forever. And I'm like, hey.
Listen, yes. Yes.
Like that example right there by itself just shows how much a small bit of representation can do in a community.
Mm-hmm.
I could cry, bro. That is so freaking cool. That is so touching.
So now just think about how that happened for you. Think about somebody, a little Melania Munchkin, that sees your face on the Make magazine, or sees you on the show, or sees you on Instagram, and they see you like this with the goggles. Think about that impact. They're like, oh my gosh, that same thing. You'll be that for somebody else, and that's so awesome.
That's what I kind of hope to become, honestly. And that's why I've been kind of slowly pushing. That's why I've been trying to be on social media more and push out more and get shared a lot more and do more stuff. And I really want to finish this Aussie robot, because once this is done, this is going to be my traveling robot once COVID's done, because I do want to do some traveling and going to schools and talking to people and stuff like that. And it's a lot more real when you bring something with you instead of just random weird guy showing up talking to a whole bunch of kids and the kids wondering, who is this person? Why do I care? I've been that kid. Y'all be at least a little interested in why you giving me a lecture,
What kid doesn't like robots though? You'll be a magnet.
You have to bring a robot though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I will tell you already, the last couple of guests that came on, but especially you, because I can hear them in the other room. They're so loud. They're like, whoa, I was better. So we're definitely going to have a conversation after this, because when we were talking about the webs with the string, I could hear Mason like, I'm going to. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I'm definitely going to contact you.
100%. Jay, I just see you going in so many wonderfully great places and impacting so many lives. You not only have the talent, but you also have the character, the personality to go very far in reaching a lot of people, should you be given the platform to do so, if you don't create it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for you. Excited for you.
You need to do Facebook. I'm just saying, no one uses Facebook anymore. I mean, maybe
I feel like Netflix needs to call you.
Absolutely.
For a Tinker Shop show.
100%.
I would watch that.
I mean, that would be fun. I would have to see what we're working on though. But I'm still watching Emily, so
Yes.
Hey, I'm not afraid. Here's a theme song. I'm jealous.
You're gonna have.
Emily's also a STEMbassy alumni as well. She's also an alumni of STEMbassy. So
I like that you call
get to be added.
I really like that.
Yes.
Yes. And good best wishes to her as well. You might also see me on some type of screen sometime soon. I can't really say.
Okay.
Anyways,
you put teasers out there, man.
Right?
I know, right?
Nothing. No more information.
Just look for me. Don't worry about it.
I'm drinking the tea now. I'm ready.
Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Well, Jorvon, we're coming up on time. I just want to say how much of a pleasure it was for us to have you here tonight.
Absolutely.
We can talk for another 2 or 3 hours about all the incredible things that you're doing. I want to make sure that you have had a moment to share with us everything that you wanted to talk about. Is there anything that you would like to share that we didn't ask you tonight that you would like to talk about?
Let me stop and look around my weird lab for a second.
While you're doing that, I just want to acknowledge that we have 3 people with locked hair on here tonight. Lock supremacy.
Hey.
Yeah.
Lock supremacy. Okay.
I mean, you know
how it is.
Jay's returning. Jay Amanda's going to return to the side. She's left.
I'm pretty sure I am.
Can we get a moment for the locks? Let's just come up real close to this.
Can we get the
I just want y'all to know about
these-
something real
These
quick.
hydrated locks. These
Beautiful.
hydrated locks.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I love to see it.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much for that moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Brought to you by Diaspora.
Natural hair. Thank God.
The Diaspora.
Natural hair.
I love it. And we have somebody who
Oh,
will be
wait.
watching
Brandy's
on
getting locks.
Tuesday.
Okay, Brandy.
Hey, Brandy, we see you.
I didn't know
Hey,
this.
Sama. Loyal watcher. Hey, Sama girl.
Absolutely. Okay, Jay, I'm sorry, I've distracted you from my question, but is there anything that you'd like to share that we didn't ask you tonight?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I was having fun at this point.
Yay! Us too.
Yeah.
We were having fun.
So I'm gonna turn
Absolutely.
it over to Dr. Chanel for our public health hats. Are you ready?
Ooh. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
Short and
I'm
sweet
turning
tonight,
it
guys.
over to you. Public health. It's
Public
time
health
for the
hat in
public
2
health
minutes.
hat. Time for the public health
We need a
hat.
theme song.
Hey, we got to get you an official theme song, girl. We're not doing you enough justice.
We
We're
do.
gonna do that
Ooh,
together.
we need a theme song for public health hat.
You
We
need
really
to make
do.
Okay, guys. So public health hats in 2 minutes or less. So listen, I'm sure everyone has seen that there are certain states that are reopening with no mask rules. They're getting to full capacity again. You can go out and kind of live your life as we were living it pre-COVID, right? And this does not include anybody who has their vaccines or does not. It's for everybody, right? Certain states have opened up again. They're reopening. I just want to say this. Please continue to wear your mask. CDC now recommends to double up. Wear 2 masks, okay? Wear a fitted mask that seals the gap over your nose, around your mouth, and under your chin. Wear a more decorative mask because people want to be fashionable now, which is totally okay. The looser mask, whatever, can go over that. But make sure that the mask is definitely going to close that gap. That's the first thing. Please also continue social distance. We're itching to get outside. We didn't have a summer last year. Hot girl summer was canceled last year. I'm afraid, once again, hot girl summer and all the other kind of things, sundress season, it's canceled again for this year, for 2021, okay? But here's what you can do. Start a garden. Do something outside. You know, one of the things that is really helpful for someone who might come in contact with COVID but has a healthy system is having a healthy immune system. You know, people are I'm taking vitamin C or echinacea. If we start with a healthy body to begin with, there's not much else you need to do to contribute to it. So eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, get your vitamins in on a daily basis, right? Eat the colors of the rainbow, your greens, your yellows, your oranges, all that kind of good stuff. You could do that by starting your own garden. And you don't need to do that with a lot of land. I've demonstrated last season and last year, 2020, you can do this as simple as on your deck if you live in a city or an urban area. You could do on your balcony if you live in an apartment complex. Follow me at The Public Health Bay on Instagram and on Twitter, and I will show you how to do that. Keep yourself busy. You get to 1, be outside, okay, get the fresh air. 2, you're growing your own food. And then 3, it kind of gives you a little bit of, dust your shoulders off when you know that the food that's on your table came from your hands. So stay busy. Find something to do. Don't get so obsessed with going outside right now. It's because the world is opening back up. It's opening back up, but Corona hasn't gone anywhere, guys. She's still out there. She's waiting. That Rona is waiting on you, girl, and guys too. She's waiting. So social distance, wear your mask, be safe, make good choices. Public health hat. Have a good week, everybody.
Thank you so much.
I love that. Someone in the comments said that they're starting a garden this weekend, so very timely.
Yay! That's
great.
awesome. That's
Love to
awesome.
hear it. We would
If
love
you're starting your
to have
garden this week, know that starting your garden this week is a good idea. If it's still cold in your area, that's okay. Start your seeds inside. And then the next 2 or 3 weeks, as the weather gets warmer, you can transplant your seedlings outside when they're ready. Also, I've got an ebook coming out showing you just how to do that. Give me a couple more weeks before it's ready, and I'll tell you all about my ebook. It's called Let's Grow Together.
Let's grow together.
I
Yes,
love
queen.
Let's grow together.
I love it. Literally.
Yes.
it.
Literally. Let's grow together.
Literally. Absolutely love it. Well, gosh. Hurts me to say this, but we're coming up on the end of the show.
I
just wanna
know.
say to everyone, thank you so much for joining us. This is some of the most fun that I've had on the show. I can't say it's the most fun because I feel like every episode it's the most fun, but we always have a good time on the show, including tonight, especially tonight with Jorvon here at J odd 2Ds _ J 2 Ys on social media. Thank you so much for your time and joining us. If you all want to see and hear more from Jay, you can check them on Instagram. He's Jorvon Moss at the at I just described. I'll throw it up here on the screen for you. And you can find STEMbassy at STEMbassy.org or on socials at STEMbassy, on Facebook as The STEMbassy, and on patreon.com/STEMbassy. Thank you so much, Jorvon. I cannot thank you enough for your time. This has been so intriguing. We all learned so much. I had a great time today. And it was good to see all my STEMbassy hosts again. We will meet again next week, Sunday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the dot. And until next time, bye guys. See you on the internet somewhere.